Samurai Guy, the OG, the PSG, Rick, Frank, and of course, the amazing movie Dojo Army. My pick for best science fiction film of all time has to go to the James Cameron classic, Aliens.
What up, everyone? DJ Noob is here with you from the Metal Town Radio podcast, giving you my favorite sci-fi movie of all time. Now, it's a very difficult decision because in the world of movies, filmmaking, different genres, even in the sci-fi world, you have sci-fi horror, you have sci-fi action, drama, or all the above. They're included. So I had to think about what direction I wanted to go with this because, like, one of my favorite movies of all time in the sci-fi genre also happens to be a shared thing with uh, drama and horror, and that's The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing remake. So, but I wanted to kind of like step away from the majority of the horror because sci-fi is like a big umbrella. I mean, you think Star Wars or Star Trek and stuff like that. Even other movies like Predator, which have a little bit of horror elements, but are a little bit more action oriented with Arnie and such, and the plot device and all that. So when you think about movies in general, you think about those things, but then you think about what if I have stuff that invokes emotion? And one thing that does that is music scores. Some of the best scores out there are John Williams and Jaws, or just some of these other ones that are out there that we all love and to get a lot of. So in this case, for me, the music really takes the cake. It goes above and beyond what you have in a movie, and so for me, it's Blade Runner 2049. Hans Zimmer always knocks it out of the park. Great plot, great score, and the music makes me fall in love with the movie even more. So that's my choice for best all-time favorite sci-fi film, Blade Runner 2049. See you later.
Hello, everyone. This is Eric, the Asian movie enthusiast, and I've been asked to briefly discuss my favorite science fiction movie of all time. Now, there are a handful of films in the discussion, but for tonight, I'd like to put a vote in for a dark horse, so to speak. It's a film I saw in the cinema over a quarter of a century ago, and I still remember where I sat in the cinema when I watched it. So it's a very memorable film, and that is Dark City from 1998. Now, over the years, I've grown to really appreciate films that feel creative and refreshing, and this is that type of film. It's a perfect way to describe it. Fantastic set designs, great cast. If you haven't seen this, you absolutely need to watch it.
Hey, Dojo Army. It's good to see y'all. It was a toss-up between two sci-fi genre films, but one is definitely The Thing. A great sci-fi horror that to this day I still think about. Is got the great practical effects, the best story at that time, and that a great influence on sci-fi horror.
Hey, it's Lindsay here, and I was asked to come on here and talk about my favorite sci-fi film. When asked that question, so many movies pop into my mind. The Thing, Total Recall, Blade Runner, E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Alien. So many classics to choose from. But I wanted to highlight a little science fiction film that I don't think gets enough love. And that movie is 2009's Moon, starring Sam Rockwell. It tells the story of Sam Rockwell's character. He's on the moon doing a job. He has a 3-year contract, and that contract is almost up. And one day while he's out on the job, he makes an alarming discovery, and this discovery leads to a bunch of surprises. Sam Rockwell holds his own as the only physical character essentially in this movie. Even though it's just him, it's funny, it's entertaining, it's exciting, it's scary in some parts. It's definitely one that I would recommend to watch if you haven't seen it. Moon.
Good evening, Mr. That Fat Samurai Guy, and of course, good evening to you too, Lady Fat Blood. Thrash Pondo here, and I want to greet all you folks out there in the Dojo Army and say how glad I am to be here amongst all us sci-fi action horror movie buffs. Anyway, the question of the evening, by the way, is favorite science fiction film of all time, and I'm guessing anyone who knows me is probably waiting for me to say Night of the Living Dead. Well, not this time. No, much as I love that film, I still consider that more horror than sci-fi, so I decided to go a little more science fiction-y for my sci-fi choice, and I have picked what I consider to be the granddad of all kaiju movies. Yes, you guessed it, the original Godzilla King of Monsters. For several reasons. One, it was possibly the film that really triggered my love of science fiction as a child. I always loved dinosaurs and the idea of a dinosaur on steroids that breathes electric fire and can gobble up whole cities. Well, that's just too severe. And let's face facts, this film was not the initial kaiju film, but it's solidified kaiju subgenre from that day forward. And it's not just a big monster movie. This film has everything. This film has intrigue. This film has drama. It has a love triangle. It has betrayal. And on top of everything else, there's a hidden message where the Japanese feel that they will one day prevail over the American occupation. I still think that's a secret. But in any event, that's my pick. Hope you folks agree. If not, well, we can have a lively debate on that at a later time. All of you folks out there, please have a wonderful long weekend. Be good, be safe, be careful. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace.
What's up, Fat Samurai? This is Charlie with Give Me Back My Action and Horror Movies. I just wanted to come on here and say one of my favorite sci-fi movies, always got to have a little bit of action mixed into it, is going to have to be RoboCop. I love this movie so much that I carry it with me everywhere I go.
Hey, everybody over there in PSG land. This is your friendly neighborhood Master Chaos. Thank you for including me on this. I'm going to lean on the book side of science fiction for this. I'm more of a literary science fiction fan when it comes to that kind of stuff. I love Michael Crichton, rest in peace, Andromeda Strain, Sphere, Jurassic Park. Those were amazing books and really great science fiction works. In terms of movies, I lean towards the ones that deal with horror, as you could probably guess. So Videodrome is a huge one, probably the one that comes to mind the most, Videodrome. Existenz, and I think anything Cronenberg is a little horror, a little science fiction, and I dig it, man. Thanks for including me. I hope you guys are well, and talk to you soon.
What's up, Preston the Phat Samurai, and all the Dojo family out there? This is Christopher Fox, writer-director of Rub. So yeah, my favorite sci-fi movie. That's a tough one. There's so many good ones and great ones to choose from. I think the easy answer would be Star Wars, because that movie, changed the landscape of filmmaking as we know it in 1976. But I would say my favorite sci-fi movie of all time, not just sci-fi movie, but I think it's the best movie ever made, is, drumroll, Back to the Future is the greatest sci-fi movie of all time. And I think it's the greatest movie of all time because it has every element you can ever ask from a film. Besides horror, it doesn't really have any horror. But I think seeing your mom, or having your mom hitting on you is enough horror for that. But it has drama, has love, has action, sci-fi. I think it really pushed the boundaries at the time of storytelling in the 80s. And it was the second movie I saw in the theater. E.T. was the first movie I saw in the theater. That's another one. That's another great sci-fi movie. I know people are probably going to go with like Blade Runner or Aliens, which are all amazing movies and all great in their own right. But for me personally, Back to the Future is the greatest sci-fi movie of all time and the greatest movie of all time. So this is Christopher Fox, writer-director of Rub. Hope the Dojo Army is doing good out there. Phat Samurai, everybody. Peace, guys, from New York. Peace.
Hi, Chris Mancini here from White Cat Entertainment. I'm going to talk about favorite science fiction film. Now, of course, Star Wars going to the theater in 1977. That was the best. But I'm going to talk about one that was a kind of a knockoff that a big studio named Disney did shortly after to capitalize on all the Star Wars fandom and hoopla. And it was not a successful movie. It was bafflingly weird, like just creative decisions. Like there's unusually violent sequences in it, great special effects for the time, but also like weird creative decisions. Like the black hole is really hell. Okay. And then Ernest Borgnine is in it, but he's in a completely separate outfit from the rest of the crew. They all have uniforms. He has like some weird turtleneck thing. I don't even know what his position was on the crew. It is baffling, this movie, but I remember as a kid, absolutely just couldn't wait to see it. It's definitely part of my childhood. So check it out on Disney Plus. It's crazy. It is fun if you watch it with expectations of the time and what it really was. Creepy robots, cute robots. It's got all these weird things combined, and it's something to watch for sure. So check out The Black Hole on Disney Plus. This is Chris Mancini from White Cat Entertainment. Bye.
Hey, this is Billy Hanson. I was going to talk about The Thing or Starship Troopers or, Alien, Blade Runner, one of the classics, but I feel like those are going to get plenty of love. I want to talk about Pandorum, because Pandorum, it's Dennis Quaid and it's Ben Foster, and it's this crazy, gnarly, like horror, sci-fi, action, mystery, and the whole time it's just terrifying and gross, and you have no idea what's going on or why these things are happening. And I was just glued to it from beginning to end, and the ending is such a cool reveal once you realize what's happened and why these things are going on, that I'm surprised people don't talk about that one more. So Pandorum, that's one of my personal favorites.
Hi, Preston. Happy to be on the show again. You're talking about science fiction, and you're asking, what are people's favorite sci-fi movies? I think that's a hard question, and the big disclaimer that I want to put out there is, I don't have one. There's so many. I love so many movies. But I think if I have to talk about specifically one, it's one I've talked about with you before as well, about just how good the movie is, and I would call it Enemy Mine, the movie with Dennis Quaid and Louis Gossett Jr. That movie is absolutely fantastic. It's visually beautiful, the acting is perfect, the writing, the directing is perfect, and it has what I think is the most essential part of science fiction, social commentary and a moral to the story. I think that's what the epitome of sci-fi means, is holding a mirror up to the audience and saying, this is you, but we're disguising it with aliens or monsters or outer space, things that are not actually currently real in our real lives. So that's what I love about the genre, and particularly the movie Enemy Mine. And even my movie, Alien Planet, was heavily influenced by that film. So that I would put up there as one of my all-time favorites, and if anyone of your audience members have not seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. You will not be disappointed. It's an emotional roller coaster, but also a fun adventure at the same time, which I think, again, is a huge point of science fiction. But I'm happy to give you my 2 cents and be on your show again. So hopefully I will get to appear live and actually chat with you on the next one. But have fun, everyone. Talk to you soon.